Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today is June the 7th, 2018 and there are 152 days left to the 2018 midterm elections, which will be held on Tuesday, November the 6th, and 880 days to the 2020 presidential election. Today we're going to talk about how many chances do the two parties have to win each of the 50 states, and how many swing states there will be, in my opinion, in this 2020 presidential election. So starting by the poll closings, the 7 p.m. poll closings, there are certain states that are safe for Donald Trump, like Indiana, Kentucky, and South Carolina for this election, and states that are safe for the Democratic Party, so Vermont and Virginia. Virginia will be pretty safe, especially after 4 years of Donald Trump at the White House. Then Georgia will be pretty swing state, North Carolina pretty swing state, and also Ohio. Ohio is the quintessential swing state. West Virginia is a safe Republican as always. Then the 8 p.m. for closing, so over the South it's pretty safe for Donald Trump. Illinois is safe for the Democratic candidate. 3 out of 4 of Maine's electoral votes are safe for the Democratic candidate. New Hampshire will be pretty a swing state, and the rest of New England safe for the Democratic candidate, and also New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, DC, and New York, while Pennsylvania and Florida are swing states. 8:30 p.m. Arkansas, and 9 p.m. Poll closings, the red wall, so 4 out of 5 electoral votes from Nebraska will be safe Republican, Wyoming, Minnesota will be safe Democratic, and the rest of the Rust Belt swing states. Iowa will be also a swing state. Colorado, New Mexico safe for the Democratic Party. Montana's pretty safe in this election. Utah and Arizona pretty safe. And finally the 11 p.m. poll closings from the West Coast, so all the West Coast, and also Nevada Nevada is pretty a swing state. Idaho safe for Donald Trump, Hawaii safe for the Democratic Party, and Alaska safe for Donald Trump. So in this election there are 142 electoral votes contested, 222 pretty safe for the Democratic candidate, and 174 safe for Donald Trump. Now let's talk about the state of North Carolina. So North Carolina was very democratic state from 1876 through 1964, and from 1968 was an exclusively Republican state. Then Obama won this state by 14,000 votes over John McCain in 2008. So this state, I think, will remain likely in the Trump column. So to fill the map, so this state will remain likely in the Trump column. Also, if you see on the margin map, we can see that in the year 2000, over Al Gore, North Carolina voted for George W. Bush by a considerable margin, more than 10%, less than states like Tennessee or Louisiana that today are pretty safe Republican, or very safe Republican. And in the year 2004, the same story. In the year 2008, the state flipped for 14,000 votes, while in the year 2012 and in the year 2016, the margin was the same, so less than 5%. So North Carolina is likely for the Trump column. If we go to Georgia, it's pretty the same, because Georgia voted Democratic only in 1980 and 1992 in the last 10 elections, and Barack Obama lost it for 5% in the year 2000. So if you see so it is as North Carolina, and also in the year 2004, 2008, and 2016. So this state is a little more Republican than North Carolina. But if we see Florida, Florida is the biggest swing state, but if you remember on the 2000 election, this state was crucial for George W. Bush. So I think Georgia will likely remain in Trump column, and also Florida will remain slightly in Trump column, so 1 or 2% or even less. Then New Hampshire and Maine. So New Hampshire is considered a swing state. Clinton has carried the state for less than 2,000 votes in 2016, but Barack Obama won the state by nearly 10% in the year 2008, and this state has voted in the last 7 elections exclusively Democratic, except in the year 2000. So this state, I think, will likely remain in Democratic column. While the second congressional district of the state of Maine is similar to Nebraska's second congressional district, because the state of Maine has voted for the Democratic candidate since 1988, and Clinton had won the state by a considerable margin in the year 2016, even though this state flipped. So, in my opinion, the second congressional district will leaning in the Democratic column, so will flip. And Nebraska's second congressional district will remain only leaning in the Trump column, and this district flipped only once in the year 2008, so it's less likely to flip from the Republican column than Maine's second congressional district. Now we have Iowa. Iowa is pretty swing state. It voted for Barack Obama nearly 10% in the year 2008, but Trump has won the state by nearly 5%. So this state will remain leaningly in the Trump column, because Trump's approval rating there is pretty high, higher than in the states like Wisconsin and Michigan, which I think will go slightly to the Democratic candidate, because a state like Michigan had voted for the Democratic Party since 1992, not by large margins, but by a considerable margin, especially in the year 2008 and 2012. So this state will likely flip from the Trump column, and also Wisconsin. So Wisconsin is the same story about Michigan, but a little bit more conservative. So Michigan will remain likely in the it will flip likely from the Trump column, while Wisconsin will also flip, but by a slimmer margin. Then Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is very similar to Michigan, and so 20 electoral votes will flip from the Trump column, while Ohio will be likely for Trump, will go likely for Donald Trump, because Obama carried the state by less than 5% in 2008, and so it's a little less Republican than North Carolina, but Trump's approval rating is still very high there. If you compare the approval rating in Ohio, Donald Trump's approval rating there, with his approval rating in Michigan or Pennsylvania, so this state will likely go to Donald Trump. And finally, we have Nevada. Nevada is likely for the Democratic candidate, but not safe. So, as today, we have 279 electoral votes for the Democratic candidate to 259 for Donald Trump. And thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you, and stay tuned for other videos.